Hey guys, what's up? My name is Pixel Perfect. And I want to let you guys know that I am going to be releasing a new EP very soon. I'm not quite sure when with all this Corona crap going on, but as you can hear, I am putting my finishing touches on it. This is just one of the songs that will be on the EP. I started doing this around 2012 and really picked up on it in 2015, and for the last few years just been really building on it. But I want to let you guys know, if you don't already know, that the Party Up Podcast, my good friends at the Party Up Podcast, are doing their 100th episode for the Party Up Podcast, which is a milestone. It's fantastic. I'm so happy for them, and I want to thank them for allowing me to be part of their family. If you guys don't listen, go listen. And for all the listeners who plan on listening, do it. And I want to thank all the people that have been listening. You guys really make a difference. But anyway, stay tuned for my new album. Stay tuned for Party Up Podcast's 100th episode, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Transmission. Oh.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning into the 100th episode of the Party Up Podcast. And as you can hear and now see, we are all together. I'm, of course, your host, Big Mosh. We have Juan with us, an original OG host. We have Katie with us, also part of seasons, I believe, 2 and 3. And, of course, the beautifully bearded Mr. John Donadio, and the also magnificently groomed Jordan from 7TV. What's going on, everybody?
What's up?
Oh, my God. Oh, man. I want to tell you something right now. That was the most stressful 2 minutes of my life, because this is the first time we're ever producing something like this. So, there is so much fucking work going into this episode, and I hope it comes out as good as I expect it to. We're already to a great start. Yeah, I don't even know where to begin, guys. Like, I'm so excited. Like, 100 episodes. Like
100 episodes. It's crazy. I remember telling you one of the other episodes before this that it took The Simpsons 5 seasons to get to 100 episodes.
Right.
So we're already better.
We're better than The Simpsons.
We made it.
Yeah.
Take that, grown egg.
Yeah. It is beyond exciting to be sitting here with you guys and doing something like this, because honestly, like, so as the listeners may have known from the past, like, I was using a rinky-dink laptop for like a few years, and you know, it was getting the job done as far as podcast production and content creating to that extent. And you know, Juan and Katie can attest. There have been a few times where, you know, even John too is like, shit didn't go well, and audio got lost, and problems happened, and we'd have to take.
Forgot to hit record.
Yeah. I forgot to hit record. Oh, shit, am I recording? Okay, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
We're
Are
good.
We an hour and a half into the show? Yeah.
Yeah. You know, all the growing pains of putting a show together. And very recently, as anyone may have seen through our social media, we upgraded. And I said, you know what? We're doing 100th episode, and we're going to do this big time. We're going to go audio, video,
big
get
time.
everything together. Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, we've reached the mountaintop. This is the peak of the show. Everything from this point on is just going down. Like it's pretty much it. So that's what you can expect. God. Yeah.
All right.
Attitude.
Welcome to the 100th and last episode of Party Up Podcast.
Be grateful.
Listen, I'm telling you,
Equals.
I'm so
Yeah, right.
happy that like we managed to like get this far. Like, there have been a couple of times, everybody here that's hosted knows that I've expressed like, oh, I don't know, like what's going on with the show. Like, I don't know if I want to keep doing it, but I've come to realize, and I've been very lucky to have these people on my team doing this show, because if it wasn't honestly for you guys like being like we really like doing the show, we want to keep going, then I wouldn't have kept going with the show, because there's a lot of work, there's a lot of shit that goes into doing this stuff.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
sometimes it just gets the better of you, but you guys have been true motivation, and I want to thank you guys for all the time that you've helped mold and create what is the Party Up podcast. Honestly, without you guys, I wouldn't even be bothering being here. And of course, a big thank you has to go out to all the listeners too. I mean,
Yeah.
as of today, we're over 1,600 listens.
Fantastic.
Every episode gets a lot of love from everybody. Our social media does well, and we're small time, honestly. Like, we're, compared to other shows and other things that are being created on the internet, we're very small time. So the fact that anybody gives us any attention, like, it really fucking means the world to
Yeah.
each one of us, and
And-
I wanna
and
thank you guys for that.
Preparing for this episode really showed us how involved our fans really are. Like, because we asked you guys for questions and
Yes.
stuff like that, and you guys answered. You guys really came through and gave us some stuff, and so thank you for being a part of this. Part of a dream for some of us. Like, we love being here, and like just getting here, especially like I love that Juan and Katie are back just for this, especially
Absolutely,
because
yeah.
it's like it shows that time progression, and like we missed you guys. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
glad you're here.
Well,
Not be on the 100th episode.
Yeah.
I
Come
knew
on.
it was gonna happen.
The
I knew it.
100th episode.
I knew the
Like
joke
that.
was gonna be there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
listen, we've continued on doing the show, and again, without you guys, everybody that's here, we wouldn't have gotten to this point, and a lot has changed since you guys have actually been off the show. I do want to take a second and congratulate Juan on being a new dad. Bravo! Congratulations, sir. How is it?
I mean, we know you didn't have to do anything, but that was.
Right. It was all the girls. But how is it being a new dad, man?
It's a lot of different things. Like, I know you have 2 kids of your own.
Right.
But it's crazy. Like, she's about to be 3 months old now.
Oh my god.
So, like,
she's so tiny.
The sleepless nights. I mean, we were taking turns taking care of her. So she would take care of her during the day. I would take care of her at night, especially in the beginning. Luckily, I have like my gaming setup and stuff like that, so I would set her up next to me in the swing, and she would just sleep there. And I gamed, and then I would, do whatever in between.
Listen, I did the
Have to
same
hop
thing.
off in the middle of a game and be like,
Guys, I got a code brown. I gotta go.
Code Brown.
but like, no, everything's been great. Like, it's when people say it's like a surreal feeling being a father, it really is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
like-
congrats.
You're
Yeah,
never ready for it,
congratulations,
but
man.
You do your best. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
And Katie, what about you? What have you been up to since you've gone and fled the nest of Party Up podcast?
God, so much has happened in life. It's just like you don't realize how fast it moves.
Yeah.
It's just when I think about it, it makes my head hurt. But I've just been progressing with a lot of like my professional life and things like that. Like, I am more of an artistic person, so I've been really delving into more of the food art, cake decorating that I've been working on,
Nice.
and the modeling that I've been working on as well. And those
Right.
have grown equally as great, and it makes
That's
me
awesome.
so happy and so excited for COVID to be over.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask for like, especially for like the modeling and stuff. Like, how has COVID like affected you with all that?
So, funny thing enough is it's like the entire industry has tried to learn how to adapt via social media. People have done FaceTime shoots, things like that. But surprisingly enough, I've gotten a uncomfortable number of, hey, can you make it to this shoot in New York City? Can you make it to this shoot in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, and this and that? And I'm like, you understand that there's a virus in New York State, the epicenter right now, right? Like,
Yeah, like
get that. And me being high risk, I'm like, I'm putting it on pause until 2020.
yeah, no, that's good. Imagine being out there in like this fancy dress with the mask on, you know, like.
No.
Well, I mean, listen, that's a new accessory now. That's doing the mask now. You got to
It
match
is.
the outfit. So
Yeah, have you seen some of like the high
That's a good
fashion
idea.
bedazzled ones? Like they're pretty sick.
Yeah,
They
some of
don't
them are
do
cool.
anything.
I just found one. I just found one now that's an All Might smile. So you just have that big
Aw.
there it
anime
is.
All Might smile. You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am here.
I was telling
I
you
love-
how I found the Skeletor one. It's Skeletor's
Yeah.
mouth and it says meow right in the front. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Next time, He-Man.
Oh man, that's crazy. But listen, Katie, glad that you're doing well. Glad that you're still excelling in everything that you're doing. I'm happy to know that the people I know and care about are doing well out there. It's been a crazy time. We've expressed it multiple times on the show that, you know, try to do what you can to keep moving forward, stay strong, stay safe out there. It's crazy doesn't even begin to describe 2020.
Oh, for real.
So again, even for us here, like for this to be the point where we're at with all the madness happening in the world and all the changes happening in all of our personal lives, you know, I'm stoked. I'm very excited to keep moving forward and hopefully the second half of the fucking year treats us a little better, but who fucking knows what's going to happen tomorrow. But we are here today and we're excited to be here. Like John said, we had requested a bunch of listeners and friends to bring forth a slew of questions for us here at the podcast. We figure that with the 100th episode being here, you know, what better way to present the show than with kind of a more of an insight of who all of us are and our opinions on certain things. You know, we cover gaming, anime, movies, pop culture, all types of stuff. And we got questions like those. And we also got a couple of interesting ones that we're going to touch on. So, you know what? Let's just get into it, man. Let's just get right into it.
Sure, yeah,
With
let's do it.
everything. So, as you guys can see, I went ahead and did my best to make this as professional as possible. And
Wee.
yeah, it took some time. I do want to go ahead and say thank you to Jordan, because he suffered probably the most out of the three of us, because he would jump on and he would just be like, all right, you know, I'm going to go ahead and help you figure this out. And he would literally just be on screen with me, just listening to music while I was dabbling around, be like, Jordan, can you see this? Jordan, can you hear that? Jordan, can you see this? And he's like, no, man, you're doing good, or no, you're not doing too good. And so thank you, Jordan. You've been the newest recruit to the show, so I've had to put you through some trials. So thank you.
Sincerely, like, it's perfectly fine. Derek really has powered through. He's been working hard as shit on this episode for upwards of at least 3 weeks now. So
Yeah, it wouldn't be an
It's a
episode if
pleasure.
I didn't take the opportunity to pat myself on my large back. So, so
Working
yeah.
hard? That's how I know you're lying.
Yeah.
No, Derek's been doing a lot for this. Jordan and I have done literally nothing but put stuff out put stuff on like online for like
No,
to get shit.
You guys,
like that's
you
it.
guys have been a huge help. Trust me. Like
No.
I
I'm
feel
just saying,
bad
I'm-
because you guys have been almost like I guess for lack of a better term, like I didn't want you guys to feel like my secretaries, but I would be like, John, can you do this for me? Jordan, can you do this
Yeah,
for me?
no.
Who's gonna be on? Like just
Listen.
trying to figure it all out, man.
As far as this whole thing is, we are a team. We are a podcast together, and so when something is needed, if I'm around, I'm gonna help. Same with Jordan, you know, like,
Right.
and even back in the day, so would Juan and Katie. You know, like if something
Yeah.
needed to be done, like we were there because it's a team. So this is a team that I'm proud of. I'm proud to be a part of, and I'm excited to do this this whole thing. We lost
Yeah.
Katie.
Oh no, there she is.
Oh my gosh!
It's
I
gonna
swear.
happen. Listen, it's gonna happen. We're
It's
gonna
gonna
have
happen.
ups and downs on the show. It's the first time we're
Yeah.
doing something like this, so you know.
The audience is just gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah, deal with it. Yeah, I mean, listen, like Juan said earlier, what would the show be without a couple of fuck ups
Right.
here or there? It is
Yeah.
what it is. But
course.
let's get into it. So
Let's do it.
I decided to go ahead and put together these fun little slides for everybody to
They look good.
enhance the experience of questioning. So as you guys can see, our first question is coming from our very good friend Chris off of Twitter. Chris has been a day one guy for us at the podcast, so I felt it fitting that he'd be the first question that we answer today. And he has submitted for us to start off our Q&A. What was the very first game you've played, and what game made you an actual gamer? So, for example, he says that his first game was Pac-Man, but Soul Reaver really made him a gamer. So, Katie, as far as video games goes, I'm going to go ahead and play the ladies' first card here with the Q&A. What was your first game, and what game actually made you a gamer?
So when I think back to the first game that I remember my stepfather bringing home the N64, and he'd like put it right on like in my bedroom. And I remember my brother being pissed off because he's like, "It's not a bedroom, it's for boys." And I was like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm older. Shut the fuck up." It was on my dresser, and I remember the first game I ever played was Duck Hunt, and I remember playing that for hours and hours and hours and hours. And I would just sit there and I'd get so frustrated. But I remember like the adrenaline that I would feel, and it made me feel just like so fulfilled. And as I think through all of the games that I've played in my life, I can't pinpoint a specific one because games have always been there, and I've always played games as I've grown older. They've evolved, whether it's been like my Game Boy Advance, if I'm playing Pokemon, or if I'm playing the Hobbit game, or Ocarina of Time, and then my Nintendo DS, and then my Nintendo DS Lite, and then the PlayStation, and like it's just every new console of things that I got, I just kept playing and grabbing new games and grabbing new games. So I can't give you a direct answer on what the game was that made me a gamer, 'cause they've always been there. They've
Right.
always been there in my life.
No,
They've been in
I
a
feel
space
that.
for me.
Yeah, it's hard to pinpoint. John, I think you are technically the oldest.
That
out of
is
all
true.
of us.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how far?
Although
back
I
are we
look
talking?
the youngest. As the oldest here. So I think my very first game was probably also Pac-Man and like the original Super Mario Brothers.
Right.
Not just Super Mario Brothers, but like Mario Brothers, the one with the where you were like in the sewers and shit and trying to like take out the crabs and and the turtles and stuff. But then I remember Dad brought home the regular NES. And we always had Atari in the house, and he would like play games or whatever. And as a little kid, I would watch. But the first game I ever played, I think, was just Mario Brothers, Super Mario Brothers. I think the game that really made me a gamer, though, didn't come that much later, and was Legend of Zelda. 1985 or 1986. I was like 6 years. I was like 5 years old at that point, or 4 or 5 years old. And Dad would play it, and he said, "You're not allowed to play this game until I finish it." And so every night he would come home, from work or whatever, and I'd be like, "Dad, you're gonna play Legend of Zelda?" And I would beg him to play so that I could finally play my, through my first time or whatever. And so he finished it, and now before player's guides was a thing, and I know a lot of you guys know what player's guides are.
Yeah.
Before that was a thing, my dad kept various notes on the games he played, right? So much so is that I had maps for all the dungeons going in because my
crazy.
dad meticulously made maps on like graph paper, right? Like a lunatic.
Dad.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. I loved it. So I had all of the castle like outlines before I even but Legend of Zelda was really the game that made me a gamer, I think. Like even that young, like I knew like this was this was everything I wanted, and I knew it was only going to get better, and I was excited to see where it was going to go. And obviously there were a lot of disappointments, but there were also a lot of exciting moments in gaming. And then I knew it was what I wanted to do for a living when I finally joined, Gaming Access Weekly.
Right.
But yeah, like that. I think that's how it goes for me.
That's good, man. Yeah, that's good. I mean, listen, as far as I'm concerned, I was kicking it with the old school gray brick Game Boy, and the first game I think that I ever actually played was Tetris. Oddly enough.
Oh yeah.
Tetris. But then there was a Super Mario Brothers that was on Game Boy. I think it was Super Mario Land. Yes, Super Mario Land. That was the game where I was like, I need to fucking play all the time, and I need to beat this. So that I would say a combo between those two were the first games that got me to start playing video games. But I mean, as far as something that actually made me a gamer, oh man,
that's a difficult question. That's a really good one.
It is, because it's so it's hard to narrow it down to a single title when gaming is so there's such a large amount that contributes to you being a gamer. I want to say though, the acquisition of the Super Nintendo. When I got the Super Nintendo in my hands, I think that was it for me. That was, I'm in it, I'm a gamer. Every title I played on the Super Nintendo was a fucking classic.
The Super Nintendo was the best system.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo was listen, like I said, I started off with the gray brick Game Boy, old school. Then I played a little NES and everything like that. I played Turtles on NES and things like that. But when I got that Super Nintendo, man, that's really when shit just fucking launched for me. I was just that's it. This is what I love to do. And to this day, man, I wish you see online you're oh, if you could go back and tell yourself 3 words that to give yourself some type of advantage and from the past, it would be invest in gaming. Because the collection of Super Nintendo that I had was bananas. I had 2 bins full of Super Nintendo games. So I want to say, as far as what really hooked me in as far as being a gamer, is anything Super Nintendo, anything at all. Zelda, Super Metroid, all Mario, it was all so fucking good, man. Kirby, so. Definitely good stuff from it.
I might be a little too old for this, but did any of you have the Super Scope, the Super Nintendo Super Scope? It was like the Nintendo gun, but it was like a giant bullshit thing.
I'm baby.
Yeah, you are baby.
No, I unfortunately didn't have all the accessories. It was a tough time getting the games back then.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know what I'm saying? So the accessories I had to kind of sacrifice. But either way, it was still good. What about you, Juan? What do you consider yourself as far as your origins in gaming?
So as far back as I can remember, because I was born and raised in Colombia. So we grew up not very fortunate, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Right.
And I think the first game I ever played was definitely an arcade game. That was set up at the corner deli that we used to just feed quarters into. And it was a soccer game.
Get out of here. Yeah, right?
And it's definitely the first game I ever played, but I think, I played all throughout the years. The first consoles I ever owned was I owned a ColecoVision and a Sega Genesis.
Damn.
Oh, shit. Nice.
But I think the game that fully made me a gamer, I always gamed, I always loved games, but the game that made me a gamer and that to this day I still love and will buy any amount of times that it will be reiterated is Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah,
very nice.
Huge one.
Huge
probably
title.
one. I've put thousands of hours into video games, new, old, but I think collectively that game. 4K, 5K plus.
Wow.
Just replaying it over and over.
Over and over. That's awesome, dude.
On my phone, I have it. I just bought the remake.
Yeah.
Everything.
Major title,
But
man.
you know, yeah, no,
Definitely.
gaming's just been a big part of my life, my whole life. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
and
I feel you.
it's not going anywhere. I'm hoping to teach my daughter and see if
Hell
she picks
yeah.
up. You know,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
keep the legacy going.
That's right.
Definitely, man. All right, let's wrap up this question. Jordan, what was the first game you ever played, and what actually made you a gamer, man?
So similarly to you, the gray brick Game Boy. My parents had all this, like everything, but I was never allowed to touch any of them until a certain age.
Right.
Right. Okay.
So I was like,
Makes
okay, cool.
sense.
So the gray brick Game Boy was like the first where I started. You know, it was like Tetris, and then, but I was very limited in how much I was allowed to play it because again, my parents very stingy. So my parents bought me for one of my birthdays my first Game Boy Color. That was the
Yes.
special. It was the special edition, like the gold and silver one with
Ooh.
Pikachu
So,
on it,
Yeah.
and his cheek was the power light. Like,
Oh,
That's
okay.
dope.
That's cool.
and
Nice.
I loved it more than anything in the universe. And I played so much Super
Oh.
Mario and so much Pokemon on it all the time.
That's awesome.
And it really is what got me into. It was like that was like the origin of it. But what I can consider the game that really has made me a gamer did not come until later on. Devil May Cry.
Okay.
All right.
Just the whole series in general. Similarly, how Juan said, you know, thousands of hours into games, but this specific game, I wish the PS2, I don't know if it did, had a timer as far as like hours played.
Hours played.
Maybe it did, I don't know. To this day, I would still love to know how much Devil May Cry I played. 'Cause that game made me so. I was like a very edgy teen, so that game was like it was like guitars and swords and demons, and I was like, this is the greatest fucking thing in the universe. I loved it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Man, the origins in gaming, dude. Like, you think back to everything that we just talked about, and so many memories when it comes to gaming and being a gamer. Like, I've always attributed gaming to almost like the world of music. Like, when you hear that one song, like that one memory is attached to it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Gaming is definitely hand in hand with that.
And I feel like everyone has like so many gaming memories, especially those couch co-op days, you know, like but even just like playing online with your friends now, like I still make memories, you know what I mean? Like no matter whether I play games with Katie or I play Star Wars with Derek or whether I play, you know, with my boys or whatever, like doesn't matter what I'm playing, I'm always still making new memories. Like that's why video games are literally so important to people. Like Juan, yes, raise your daughter on video games. You know what I mean? Like, like she'll have so many great memories.
This is the way.
Yeah,
it's
happening.
Some of my best memories are like going to my friend's house after school so that we could play together on like her PS1 or like her PS2 and just like hang out. Like our DS is connecting. Like, you know, it's the little things that make all the world a difference.
Yeah.
Always attribute a specific time in your life to a specific game.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I was playing Resident Evil and Resident Evil 2 when those first came out. And Resident Evil 2 came out and I had a bunch of people over, girls, guys, and we all sat in my dark, like we had a basement and we turned off all the lights, right? And I was, in the control, but everyone was we were all watching for the first time, and oh my god, it was just an experience that I'll never, ever, ever forget. And some of those friends I haven't talked to in years, but it's just one of those, like, I'll never forget that moment. You know what I mean? Like, good video games, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Video games, always a great time. Hanging out with your friends, always a good time.